Hello students, welcome back in our physics lecture. So today we start numerical of chapter number 13 nucleus. Numerical number 5, it is a given coin has mass 3 gram. Calculate nuclear energy that would require to separate all neutron proton from each other. For simplicity we assume the coin is entirely made up of copper atoms and masses of proton neutrons are given to us respectively. So answer simple. Here we know that the mass of nucleon in free state is always greater than binding state. Here for copper atom, here number of proton, okay, so number of proton in copper atom, that will be equal to what? Its atomic number, that is equal to 29, multiply by mass of each proton. So here 29 multiplied by mass of proton already given to us, that is equal to 1.00783 AMU. So when we multiply it using Kelsey, so we will get, that will be equal to, so student, after multiplying we will get 29, 1 minute, 29.22770 AMU. Similarly, number of neutron. So number of neutron, that will be equal to what? Atomic mass minus atomic number. So 63 minus 29. What we do? 63 minus 29, that will be equal to 34. 34 multiply mass of neutron, that is given to you 1.00867 AMU. After multiplying we get, that will be equal to 34.29478 AMU. So total mass of copper atom when nucleons are in free state, okay, so total mass of nucleon in copper in free state, that will be equal to, we add this to 29.22 plus 34.29478 AMU. After adding we will get 63.52185 AMU. And you know the mass of copper atom in binding state is already given to you, 62 point. Mass of Cu in binding state, but when the molecules, when it what make the atom, that is equal to 62.92960 AMU. So difference, that will be equal to mass defect. So mass defect, that is equal to mass of nucleon when they are in free state, that is 63.52185 minus when they are in binding state, that is 62.92960 AMU. So after subtracting we get mass defect, that will be equal to 0.59225 AMU, atomic mass unit. AMU means atomic mass unit. Now binding energy. So binding energy of Cu, that is equal to what? Mass defect del M multiply by C square. Okay, mass defect multiplied by C square. So mass defect is what? 0.59225 multiply by, बराबर. So multiplying it, 931.5 million electron volt per centimeter square. So after cancellation, finally we will get binding energy of copper nucleus, that is equal to 5.05032 million electron volt. Okay, so this is what the binding energy. Now we know that actually what we have to find, what the energy required to separate nucleons, means proton and neutron, in 3 gram of copper coin. Okay, so first of all we have to find the total number of atoms are present in 1 gram. So dear students, we know that 63 gram of copper having atoms is equal to what? Avogadro number, that is 6.023 multiplied 10 to the power 23 atoms. Okay, so 1 gram having 1 gram, that will be what? 6.023 multiplied 10 to the power 23 divided by 3, so divide by 63. And now the 3 gram having, so 3 gram of coppers having numbers of atoms, that is equal to 6.023 multiply by 10 to the power 23 divided by 63 multiply by 3. So after cancellation, this 3 2 ja, 3 1 ja, so finally we will get total number of atoms which are present in 3 gram of copper. So कितने मिलेंगे आपको? That is equal to 2.868 multiply by 10 to the power 22 atoms. तो आपको इतने एटम मिल गए, बराबर. ओके, सो यू गॉट नंबर ऑफ एटम्स. ओके, नाउ एनर्जी required to separate neutron and proton from 3 gram of copper is simple. You know, energy required to separate neutron and proton from one atom, that is equal to 551.503. Just we find that is equal to binding energy of one copper atom. Okay, that is what? 551.5032 multiply by total number of atoms is 2.868 multiply 10 to the power 22. So after multiplying we get total energy, that is equal to 1.582 multiply 10 to the power 25 million electron volt. So dear student, this we got after calculation. Okay, so this much amount of energy required to separate all neutron, proton in 3 gram of copper atom, in 3 grams of copper. Okay, so now we start next numerical number 6. So students, see, first reaction is given to you. So alpha dp of radium. So what happened when alpha particle emitted from radium having atomic number 88 and atomic mass 226? So we know, students, alpha particle is helium nuclei, and when alpha particle emitted from any atom, its atomic number decrease by 2. Okay, so atomic number decrease by 2 means 88 minus 2, it will be what? 86. And atomic mass decrease by 4, so it will be 2, 2, 2. Okay, so atomic number 86, that element is called radon. Means after alpha decay from radium, radium changes to radon. Similarly, in the second reaction, see, it is very easy. In second reaction, what? Alpha decay from plutonium. See, so plutonium Pu, atomic number 94, atomic mass 242, and from it, what emitted? Alpha. So we know alpha particle is what? Helium nuclei. क्या है? Helium nuclei. So when alpha particle emitted from plutonium, its atomic number decreased by 2 and atomic mass decreased by what? 4. So it will be 238. So element with atomic number 92, that is what? Uranium. So it changes to uranium. Number 3. Third reaction, beta decay from what? Phosphorus. Beta decay from phosphorus. So we know phosphorus is given to us. Atomic number 15, atomic mass 33 given to us. Beta decay, beta minus decay, that means here electron is emitted from nucleus. Okay, electron, actually what? Neutron changes to positron and electron. There is no neutron inside there is no electron inside the nucleus, but neutron changes to what? Electron and positron, and because of that we get here electron from nucleus. Along beta decay, anti-neutrino is emitted. So when beta minus decay take place from phosphorus atom, then its atomic number increase by 1. So it will be changed to what? Sulfur, and atomic mass will be as it is, 33. So phosphorus changed to what? Sulfur after beta minus decay. Now in fourth reaction, beta decay of Bi, atomic number 83, bismuth, and 210, and from that beta minus decay, that means electron emitted from it, and along with electron anti-neutrino emitted. So here atomic number increased by 1, means it will be 84, and there is no change in atomic mass. So the element which having atomic number 84, that is called polonium. So it Bi changes to what? Polonium. Reaction number 5. In reaction number 5, beta plus decay from carbon. So we know carbon C811 is given to us. Actually student, it is not 8, it is mistake in question. Actually it is 6. C611 given to us. C611, and from this what? Beta plus means positron come out from it, and along with positron neutrino emitted. When the positron emitted from carbon, so its atomic number decreased by 1. So carbon changes to what? Boron, and there is no change in atomic mass. 6 number reaction. In the 6 number reaction, beta plus decay from technetium Tc, atomic number 43, atomic mass 97. So it changed to, here beta decay take place, beta plus decay. So positron emitted from it, along with positron neutrino emitted. So after emission of positron, atomic number increased by 1. So it changed to what? Mondi platinum 44, and there is no change in atomic mass. Now in reaction number 7, xenon 54 120 capture electron. So after capturing electron, it make iodine, atomic number 53, atomic mass 120, along with it emit neutrino. Now our next numerical number 7. A radioactive isotope has half-life T years. How long will it take the activity to reduce? 3.125% and 1% of original value. So first we start, पहले अपने first start करते हैं कि how long it will take the activity to reduce A, that is equal to 3.125%. Okay, so we know that activity is equal to R upon R naught e raised to minus lambda t. Okay, also number of atom remaining is given by n is equal to n naught e raised to minus lambda t. Okay, so now after rearranging R upon R naught, that is equal to e raised to minus lambda t, and n upon n naught, that is equal to e raised to minus lambda t. So from this equation, or combining this equation, we can directly write here R upon R naught, that is equal to n upon n naught. Okay, so n is given to you 3.125, and n naught, initial number of atom present in radioactive isotope, that is equal to 100. Okay, so this can be written as, इसको अपने ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं, क्या लिख सकते हैं इसको, when 3.125 divided to 100, so this will be equal to 1 upon 32. And it is the half-life time. So n upon n naught, that is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to n. So 1 upon 2 raised to n. So therefore 1 upon 2 raised to n, that is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to 5, because 2 multiply 5 times, so we will get for 32. So comparing this equation here, base 7, so comparing power, we get n is equal to 5t years. It will take what? N is equal to 5t years. Okay, student? So this is basic how we got this equation. Okay, so this is what history behind it. अब अपने को B के अंदर वापस क्या फाइंड करना है? 1% ऑफ इट ओरिजिनल एक्टिविटी. तो ओरिजिनल एक्टिविटी से उसको 1% रहेगा तो कितना टाइम लेगा? सो वी हैव टू फाइंड 1% ऑफ इट्स ओरिजिनल वैल्यू. So dear student, now the required time is given by a simple formula. T is equal to 2.303 upon lambda log L naught upon N naught upon N. Okay, this is what log base 10. here 2.303 upon lambda or log. Here we know that initial number of molecules, that is equal to 100, and finally it become what, 1%. So this can be written as, so that is equal to 2.303 upon lambda whole multiply by log 100 can be written as what, log 10 base 2. Okay, so this is log 10 base. So we know that log 10 base 10, that is equal to 1. क्या हो जाएगा, 1. So 2.303 upon lambda multiply by 2. Okay, but when we place here value of lambda, so after placing value of lambda 2.303 upon, we know half lifetime is given by the student, you know, that is equal to t half, that is equal to 0.693 upon lambda. Okay, so we make here lambda as a subject, so lambda is equal to क्या होगा, 0.693, and here half time is given to you already t. So after rearranging, here we replace lambda by 0.693 upon t, so t will be here whole multiply by 2. So we will get the required time equal to 6.65 t years. Okay, so dear student, this is what the time required to reduce it 1%. Clear? Chalo, next. Our next numerical 8. Normal activity of living carbon containing matter is found to be 15 decay per minute for energy gram of carbon. This activity arises from a small proportion of radioactive C14 present with the ordinary carbon isotope C12. When organism is dead, its interaction with atmosphere ceases and its activity began to drop. So from known half lifetime, that is given to us 5730 years of C14, major activity, the age of a specimen can be approximately estimated, and this is the principle of C14 dating used in archaeology. Suppose a specimen from Mohenjo-daro give activity 9 decay per minute per gram of carbon. So estimate approximate age of Indus Valley civilization. So dear student, it is very easy numerical. Okay, so first of all we have to write what is given. Okay, so here normal activity, R naught, that is given to of a specimen, that is equal to 15 decay per minute, and the present activity is given to you. Present activity R, that is equal to 9 decay per minute. Dear students, we know that activity is proportional to number of radioactive atom. I think you know, from the last numerical we know here. So we know that R upon R naught, that is equal to N upon N naught, that is equal to e raised to minus lambda t. Okay, so here initial activity is given to us 15 and present 9. So 9 upon 15, that is equal to e raised to minus lambda t. So now taking natural log both the side, we get both sides. Why we are taking natural log? Because here e raised to minus lambda t, so that is equal to ln 9 upon 15, that is equal to ln e base e raised to minus lambda t. But we know that ln e raised to e, that is equal to 1. So that is minus lambda t. Here e multiplied by ln e raised to e, that is equal to 1. And here ln 3 3s are 9, 3 5s are 15. So I can write here 3 upon 5. Now this side negative. So to make it negative, so therefore I reverse this fraction. So it will be ln minus ln 5 upon 3. That is equal to minus lambda t. Now multiplying negative sign both sides, we get ln 5 upon 3, that is equal to lambda t. Now we convert from natural log to log base 10. So for that what we have to do, we have to multiply it by number 2.303 log base 10 5 upon 3, that is equal to lambda t. Here therefore 2.303 log 5 upon 3. So value of log 5 upon 3, log base 10 5 upon 3, that is equal to, we find from log table, that will be equal to 0.2218, that is equal to lambda t. Okay. Already half life is already given to us here. So that is equal to t half, that is equal to 0.693 upon lambda. Then half life is, that is lambda is equal to, we can write 0.9693 divided by half lifetime, and half lifetime is given to us in years, that is equal to 5730 years. So now we place value of lambda from year to year. So after placing, we will get 2.303 multiplied by 0.2218, that is equal to 0.693 divided by 5730 whole multiplied by t. So we make what t as a subject. So t is equal to 2.303 multiplied by 0.2218 whole multiplied by 5730 divided by 0.693. So after solving this fraction, we get the time required for it is 4 to 4 years. So this is what the time required. Our next numerical 9, obtain amount of cobalt necessary to provide radioactive source of 8 millicurie strength. The half lifetime of radioactive is given to us 5.3 years. So it is very easy. See, so half lifetime of radioactive means here cobalt is given to 5.3 years. So here we answer in SI unit. So we multiply 5.3 by 365, means 1 year is equal to 365 days, 1 day 24 hours, and 1 hour is equal to 60 multiply 60, 3600 seconds. So this answer after multiplying we get in second. So half lifetime of cobalt in second, that is equal. So after multiplying, we got 1.671 multiplied 10 to the power 8 second. Second thing, here activity is given to us. Initial, so necessary here the source having the radioactive source of strength 8.0 millicurie strength. So here activity given that is equal to 8.0 millicurie. So what is given to us? 8.0 millicurie. 8.0 millicurie. So milli can be changed to what? Curie, multiplying by minus 10 to the power 3. And curie, 1 curie is equal to 3.7 multiplied 10 to the power 10 disintegration per second. Okay. So after whole multiplying, we know the relation R is equal to lambda n. Lambda is equal to, so dear students, here we know that R is equal to lambda n, here where half-life time is already, that is equal to relation between the half-life time and decay constant, that is 0.693 divided by lambda. So we can write here lambda is equal to 0.693 divided by half-life time. And half-life time is already given to us. So we write here in place of lambda 0.693 divided by half-life time, and that is equal to 1.671 multiplied 10 to the power 8 whole multiplied by n. So here activities already we have. So now we make what? N a subject. So n is equal to R multiplied by 1.673 multiply 10 to the power 8 divided by 0.693. And what is value of R? We know that is equal to 29.6 multiply 10 to the power 7 multiply 1.671 multiply 10 to the power 8 divided by 0.93. After solving it, we get 7. So amount of cobalt necessary to provide radioactive source, the activity equal to 8 millicurie. So for that number of atom required is 7 points. So dear student, now we find here the amount of cobalt required corresponding to this number of atoms. So we know that here we know that 60 gram of cobalt contain number of atom that is equal to Avogadro number 6.023 multiply 10 to the power 23 atoms. Okay, understood? Okay, so we can write this one because here number of atoms are given. So we are starting from here. 6.023 multiply 10 to the power 23 atoms contained by 60 gram of cobalt. So one atom contained by 60 gram divided by 6.023 multiplied 10 to the power 23 gram cobalt. So here 7.15 multiplied 10 to the power 16 atoms contained by given amount of cobalt. So that is equal to 60 gram multiplied by 7.15 multiplied 10 to the power 16 divided by 6.23 multiplied 10 to the power 23. Okay, so after solving it, we get the amount of cobalt required for initial activity, that is 7